Okay, everybody's got a fucking podcast. I mean, we have a podcast, so obviously anyone can do it.
Wait, this is a podcast?
Are you recording right now?
Technical difficulties.
No, you don't have to say anything. I'm gonna edit it out.
Technical difficulties.
Okay.
I put mayonnaise on a pickle.
It was not the best, but it might have been the worst.
Do my feet? I mean, my feet stink, right?
Yeah. And we're hot. We're live. We're not live. It's a podcast.
We're
It's
kind of
okay.
hot, though. I mean, we do
Wow,
okay.
it's hot.
Are we,
Okay, it's
are
actually.
we getting an audio feedback?
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Hold on.
Test, test. 1, 2, 3,
How we doing
4.
now? Oh,
That's,
it's still pretty loud. Why am I?
Is it just the phone's level is turned up all the way? Did they get...
Yeah, maybe.
Test, test. 1, 2, 3, 4. It
Maybe-
could just be the headphone
It's rather
side.
loud.
Is...
Do you still hear the
I don't
loudness?
hear the feedback, but...
Yeah. Okay.
The,
Probably go down a little bit.
I mean, this is turned up all the way. The phone's
Okay.
side. So let's just... Is that...
Yeah. How we doing? Okay. All right.
Does
We
this
still
seem like a
sound-
more reasonable...
We still sound pretty good. We
Okay.
still sound pretty good.
Yeah,
We
I
all
think
in?
just headphones were...
Should we edit that out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is awkward.
I think because you said that though, it makes it better. I think we leave it in.
Let's leave it in.
All right. Let's leave it in.
We don't take my advice.
Famous last words. All right. So the Spirit.
Right. This is that awesome
your,
horse movie, right?
Yeah.
It's like that animated horse movie.
Mhm.
That sounds right.
Yeah. Well, I would think that you would know because it was your choice, being in July here. So, why did you pick the Spirit?
There's something about the aesthetic involved with this, I think, that just like hits that part of my brain. If you listen to how I was able to go on about 2001: A Space Odyssey and not find it as complete garbage, most of it was just because it looks cool.
Sure.
And some part of my brain calls that good enough. But yeah, just the art style in this is incredible. And also just how much of a motion comic book it feels like I'm watching. It's something I feel like a lot of like comic book type movies don't get to hit as hard. They try to make it more of like a realistic, either like action movie or fit, I guess, more of a realistic tone. But this felt like I was straight up just watching like a motion comic book. And that just really does it for me.
Okay. I didn't like it as much. I really wanted to be honest with you. You sent me a trailer. It was months back. Just talking about it, saying how you liked it, and I was like, "Yeah, cool. I'm definitely gonna check that out." Because I love Sin City again, and the both Sin Cities and Frank Miller.
Yeah.
Is part of those, obviously. So I was definitely stoked, and it kind of let me down a little bit story wise. I thought. So if you don't know who Frank Miller is, I did pull up a little Frank Miller stuff that I feel like I'll fuck up. But basically, excuse me, he big comic guy, worked for DC at one point. Marvel, I guess those aren't exclusive because it sounds like there's a lot of overlap in like, you know, hopping back and forth DC to Marvel.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. And I'm no Frank Miller expert. So if you're sitting at home as the Frank Miller Bible, then I'm sorry. I'm just throwing some shit out here for those who aren't as hardo about it. So congrats if you know more than me. But so, you know, he wrote from, according to Wikipedia, issue 158 to issue 191 of Daredevil was kind of like the main guy as far as storylines and everything. So that's pretty cool. Had a thing with Dark Knight Returns. He was the yeah. Anyway, did some stuff.
Yeah. Very, very comic book influence. Lots of work into it.
Yeah. So seems like a pretty cool guy. So it'd be cool to. And Sin City, I thought was fantastic, and he had a part in 300 there too. So not a part, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see some of those common threads if you compare some stuff out of all three of those for sure.
Right. So, yeah. So Frank Miller, cool guy. Let's just jump through our plot real quick. Just plot through bullet points, just so anybody that doesn't know kind of has an idea, or if you haven't watched it in a while. Meet Spirit. He's enemies with the octopus. He's going to go fight him first. It's going to take a while. He's got to run there. Spirit and octopus fight. Finds the locket of his old flame, Sans Serif. The plot thickens, sort of. Sand tells a guy to kill himself and photocopies her ass. This sends Spirit searching for more answers. Sand wins a card game to get a guy to call Octopus for her. Spirit visits her and she pushes him out the window. Octopus tells Spirit everything as is tradition in a hero movie when a guy could foil your plan if he knows everything. He escapes, but he's stabbed by the girl that helped him escape. He's okay, of course. One final showdown with the octopus. Spirit wins, continues narrating to himself about the city he lives in while jumping building to building like a psychopath. So, you kind of covered your likes as far as like why you picked it, right? Or well, I don't want to speak for you.
Yeah.
Likes, dislikes for you.
Yeah, so I mean that was definitely a chunk of the likes there. I kind of really like the dialogue in this, and I know that's a very probably divisive thing to enjoy into it, but I like the I'm actually monologuing and like my lips are moving as I monologue throughout, especially like those intro scenes and kind of as he's just running throughout the city.
Yeah.
There's just something so like comic book-esque about like the hero who has to like narrate kind of what's going on. Because in the comic book, you have those text boxes that just run through and kind of say all of those things. And then this is almost just like we don't got the comic books, we don't got the panels. Like, you have to talk out through everything there. So there's some odd parts of that I think are kind of enjoyable, because that almost adds to some of like the quirkiness and humor that is throughout this. So I did kind of enjoy some of the awkwardness of that dialogue.
Okay. Likes, I mean, visually, as you said, it is cool. But I liked the henchmen, and I'm pretty sure a couple of those names were like Huevos and Rancheros, so that was pretty fun.
Yeah. The last two were Adios and Amigos. I don't know if you caught that.
No, I didn't catch that one, so that's good. Those guys were silly, but not a lot of likes on my end. And this is what happened last time with that fucking. Hold on, fill the space.
Please hold while we do troubleshooting. Can we tell it to restart? Never.
Good day. Yeah, tomorrow.
Tomorrow. That's always a good time to restart.
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow at 12:34. Okay. Does that
Great.
work for you?
That'll be great. Thank you.
Okay.
It should be set. Yeah.
Go away now, please. Okay. Sorry for that. All right. So, my first thought on the first watch, and then I added some stuff later. But first watch, what I said was my dislikes on it. It's like if someone had never seen a superhero movie, you could have fooled them and said, like, this is a superhero movie. Like, it's very silly and it's kind of fun. But I personally couldn't, like, get behind it because it just felt, like, super cheesy. And it felt like just because you bring in a bunch of, like, high-profile actors doesn't mean it'll work,
Right.
per se. And then as I analyzed it more, I was looking at it and I was like, okay, nothing quite, like, felt right for me. Like, for whatever reason, I just didn't care about this dude or the octopus. Like, and then that got me thinking, I'm like, why do I even care about, like, other superhero movies, right? And I think it's the more developed backstories. Like, in this, it was kind of rushed a bit. Part of what's interesting about, like, Batman is you know everything about him. The parents are dead.
Yeah.
You know, don't talk about my dead dad.
Well, and to be fair with Batman, we've also known about Batman for the past 60 years. So.
Yeah. No, completely fair. But like most heroes have like a lair, you know, sorry, that's not what I'm gonna say. Most heroes have a thing.
Yeah.
Right. So like Batman, he's got the Batcave
And the dead
he's
parents.
got the dead parents, but he's got the gadgets and he's got a butler. It's like a whole thing. Like you could see yourself. I don't know. Like nothing about Spirit do I envy almost. Like I think with some superhero movies, I feel as if, Iron Man, yeah, sometimes he gets his ass kicked, but I totally want to be Iron Man.
Yeah. He's got the personality. He's got the money.
Yeah.
It's lit.
But you look at Spirit, and there's no part of me that's like, I want to be Spirit. It's like, no, he just essentially what is it's like Wolverine. Like you kind of want to be Wolverine with the claws, but he just gets like shot and beat the shit out of him all the time. It's like, yeah, he's got the healing factor, but it still hurts.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, that's the thing. So if you take like Wolverine and like Deadpool and how they, I guess, like show off those abilities, it's usually them getting like very viscerally beaten the shit out of, and then they kind of have like the triumphant return of I'm more mad that I'm hurt right now, and
Yeah.
you know that's kind of how that works. But for the Spirit, he mostly just like puts up a fight and then gets his ass kicked, and then he's got to like go to the hospital for a little while and try again later. Like he's just on cooldown,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So while the healing abilities are cool, we don't really get like, I guess, a gimmick out of those abilities, or we don't get like a highlight out of them. He's just like a cop who happens to be hard to die or to kill.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Well, and again with the cop thing, it's like, you know, as far as his backstory, it did feel rushed. You know, we have a 5-minute, like, I gave her a locket, she was vain and wanted diamonds, and she left, so now I'm a simp to the prettiest girl who's the closest to me.
yeah.
And I also get the shit beat out of me.
Yeah.
Like, the whole dying thing, like, you show that brief thing of, you know, he was a cop that got shot, and then he goes back to the police chief or whatever, and he's like, hey, I'm dead, but I'm not, so
I gotta stay dead though.
I can do stuff. And to me, it was just, you could have, I don't know.
If we had like 20 minutes to kind of flesh out like that
Yes.
childhood, and then as well as going into, you know, kind of that cop life, make us understand, number one, I think kind of that relationship between him and like Ellen a little bit more too.
Right.
You know, because that felt like it was supposed to be really meaningful, but all we know is that they kind of like each other, and she's, you know, still not over her.
and she'll give it up in the office.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Good on her.
But I mean, because as annoying as a superhero origin movie can be, you know, yeah, when you watch Spider-Man for the 8th time, you go, God damn it, with the fucking spider bite. Like, I get it,
Yeah.
you know, but there's a reason that's necessary. Like saying the Tobey Maguire one, you know? Oh, he's a nerdy kid. Okay, he got bit by a spider. Oh, she's hot. And then, oh, look, he can beat people up now. Oh, no, he made a mistake. His uncle's dead. You're like, you show the hero. You show what he was. He's got a new ability. Something's wrong. He's got to fix this. He's still chasing the girl. He's trying to balance everything. The origin story is something.
Yeah.
When really you're looking at Spirit and it's, you know, he's a dead guy, so no one really cares where he is except this hot doctor lady, and then I don't know. He like stays with cats. I don't know.
Yeah, he's got like a weird house at a cemetery kind of thing, and there's just cats everywhere. But
yeah,
to be fair, the cat thing is a little bit of like the 9 lives and the, you know, always landing on your feet, and
okay.
you know.
Okay, no, that's I didn't think about the symbolism there. No, that's good. I just felt the noir thing shouldn't have been a thing in this movie. Like the feel, the everything. Like it looks great,
Yeah.
and I know why you'd throw that concept out, but it definitely works for the Sin City movies. But in this, I just feel like it's just like I almost feel like if you just shoot this normal, it might be a little better, just because there's a certain expectation with that visual presentation. You know, of a good plot, and I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I mean, so I guess if we took like kind of the same, you know, like visual style and everything, same roughly story, maybe we flesh out that backstory, you know, give it an extra 20 minutes in that, but then also like maybe heavy hand into like we're going to go for more of a serious tone without some of this quirky comic book dialogue
Right.
and flourish. Like that's where the movie would have done better.
Because if you're going for a comedy, get rid of the noir thing. Kind of tells you it's going to be a serious vibe, you know.
Yeah.
And then you got this silly guy. It's just, I mean, the beginning of the movie is just you got these two dipshits fighting in a beach swamp tar pit kind of thing.
But it's so
You know?
good. I don't know if you caught this, so we'll kind of come back to the rest of the order here. But like in that fight scene with him and the octopus in the beginning, you know, they're beating the shit out of each other. They're throwing everything they got at each other,
Yeah.
and then the Spirit actually throws the kitchen sink
Yes.
at the octopus. So he
Right.
threw everything at him, including the kitchen sink.
Right.
Which you know, the small stuff like that just gets
Yeah.
me good. But
No, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, as far as my dislikes, those kind of line up pretty much
I'm
with
sorry
yours.
that mine was all dislikes.
No. But it lines up as far as like the backstory stuff. Like we really kind of missed out on a lot of opportunity for us to get that investment in the characters, and especially because this is coming from a comic book series that like isn't pop culture. We don't have any of this context, so this is just like a new set of characters that we know nothing about. You know, the average person has context on people like Batman. The average person has no idea who the Spirit is, which I think was like 50s, 60s comic book is when the first issues were. So it's hard to do that type of thing justice in general, especially with the runtime on this, because I don't remember how long it was.
Might have been an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and talk.
But you know what I mean? Like if they would have had like that extra time and, you know, maybe a little bit better budget to, you know, have that longer runtime, you know, maybe they would have stood a better chance at telling a more cohesive story and making us care about the characters a little bit more.
108 minutes.
108 minutes, yeah, it's just not enough. It's not enough to tell that kind of story, I don't think.
Yeah. I did buy it for $4.
It's a bargain.
You can take it home with you if you want.
Never gonna watch it again.
So bad trailer. I said see the actual trailer for this movie. Because honestly, that trailer you sent me, I was into it.
The trailer
and I was
does
very
it
excited.
too much, I think. Like it grabs the coolest one-liner-ish like parts out of the movie, and
And I definitely thought there was going to be more to that Lorelei thing, and I don't know. But yeah, it just made it look like a legit, like, fun movie, and I don't know. It disappointed. So I think this is literally what we're looking for when we say we do a bad trailer. I always say a bad trailer, you see a trailer that maybe kind of misleads what the movie actually is, and that's kind of the joke of the bad trailer bit we do. So I try to remember to explain it every time. Watch The Spirit, watch the trailer, and you'll have the definition of bad trailer.
yeah,
So,
it definitely makes it seem like it's a much cooler and I think much more fleshed out story than what you end up with. So
right.
yeah, definitely a little disappointing there. As far as my, quote unquote bad trailer to try and make it kind of funny type of thing, I wanted to take scenes with the octopus and all the different outfits that he and Silk and Floss had throughout this, and to kind of make it like a, kind of like the Gordon Ramsay travels the world trying exotic food kind of thing. Just have it be like a travel show.
Yeah.
So just this real lighthearted kind of thing with him traveling, because we get like the Japan background, I think, when they're in like the samurai attire. He's obviously wearing like the Nazi uniform later on in the scenes there. So just making a trailer to make look the octopus is just like some philanthropist running around traveling the world and taking in new cultures and learning history and shit.
No, that's a funny one, yeah.
Especially with some of the Heracles and kind of like the old lore, some that could probably work in.
Yeah. For my bad summary, I said good movie. Then my other one was this ass didn't break the internet, but a guy did shoot himself.
You're not wrong there. Yes, as far as a bad summary, I was kind of struggling there too. I was trying to go with something as far as like the cop retires just to go join the force again. With
Right.
him dying and then coming back to life.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Bad casting, I said the cast. But on a serious note, like, honestly, I don't think anyone fixes this movie because, again, like, I think you can throw stars at a movie. It doesn't make it a good movie. The content's got to be good. So I don't think it gets any worse with it. Like, I don't think you put worse actors in, it gets worse. Just my thought. But I said, if we're being fun, I think if you make Adam Sandler and David Spade, like in whichever way you want, the Spirit and the octopus, I think Adam Sandler's probably either one of them's a funny octopus.
Yeah.
And then like the Spirit kind of,
I can definitely see Adam Sandler pulling the octopus, though. I think that'd be real fun.
And like David Spade's got that, he's just got that, that like sarcastic asshole to him that would also work as a good octopus.
Yeah.
And the Spirit really doesn't need any personality. Like, I felt like that was another thing I lacked with the Spirit is like all the girls are kind of falling all over him, but like why? I felt like he lacked like a lot of personality. He's very much like the straight guy, and the octopus is giving him the presentation. He's like, okay, I'm bored, I don't know. I didn't see a lot with him.
Yeah, the spirit. There was real no reason that was explained or even implied as far as like why he is like so nice to all these girls, why he flirts with anyone outside of just
And why they're all like,
obsessed with him,
Yeah.
outside of just to make Ellen mad at him. So
yeah.
it's whatever. As far as the bad casting I had, so I went with Ryan Reynolds as the spirit, just because.
Deadpool vibe.
Well, so 2011 he was the Green Lantern.
Yeah.
And that I think 2010 or 2011 he's the Green Lantern. That movie
was a
fucking
bad
sucked.
movie, yeah.
Right. So I will watch the Spirit again before I watch the Green Lantern.
Absolutely.
At least a dozen times, but. Yeah, so I was like, if we take Ryan Reynolds from that and just plop him into this, that would at least make the Spirit a little worse. I don't think he could handle the dark, brooding, like kind of flatter tone of the character.
Yeah.
Because it would just be Ryan Reynolds playing Ryan Reynolds and
Yeah.
sarcastic as shit. But
Yeah. All right. Do you want to blow through notes here?
Sure.
Quick live tweet type deal.
Live tweet.
Okay, so immediately, who knows how far his tentacles spread? Just cheesy immediately.
mm-hmm.
This guy needs a car, or at least a moped. See, he gave up and he rode the rest of the way in the cop car. Talk about heads up. He got hit in the head with the thing. Anyway, I'm not sure how I feel about this guy yet. I had you right where I wanted you. Seemed like they both sucked at fighting. It's the same narration technique as Sin City, but not as interesting or effective. Very vain girl. I just want diamonds. I think this plot would have been, or should have abandoned the noir look in the narration. As the henchman is ripping himself open with the sword, he goes, "Now that'll wake you up." Those guys are probably the best parts of the movie sometimes. Yeah. Again, more cheese. Eva Mendes looking at her photocopied ass. Perfect ass. I liked the guy who was the receptionist, if you will. What was the guy? A collector? Whatever that was. He's very stuck on it. She didn't have an appointment. Yeah. I felt like if we take him into the like an interrogation room and we're just interrogating him, that's probably like what he can't get off of is like, well, she didn't have an appointment. Like he just like no matter what they throw at him, he's just like, she didn't have it.
It's all by the rules.
He says he's talking about Sand in his narration voice as he's going through the city. On the inside, you were warm and soft. Is that a vagina joke?
Oh yeah.
One of the better parts of the movie is the dumb cloned henchman again. We looked everywhere, except where she was. We should have looked there. Where's
did.
that? And then Sand does not recognize him whatsoever when he's in the hotel room with her.
Yeah.
Until he basically tells her.
I don't know if you knew this, but if you wear those little eye mask things, it's a 100% disguise every time.
He reverse Clark Kented her.
Yeah.
Clark Kent puts on the glass. That would be like if you didn't have your glasses. Here, take your glasses off for the audience, Jason. Who is this guy?
I'm
Jason.
Kevin.
Where's Jason?
I don't know.
God damn it.
Can we still hang out though? I mean, I'd like to continue this
I don't
podcast
know who
as
you
Kevin.
are.
Well, see, Kevin didn't actually watch the movie, so.
Kevin didn't watch the movie.
No,
so. Kevin needs to get out of here.
Okay, I'll see you guys.
Jason,
Hey.
you're back. No. So he reversed Clark Kent / a minor Bruce Wayne because I mean the Batman thing isn't full face either, but
Yeah.
she really doesn't recognize him. Like it's just so dumb. And then she just pushes him out the window once she realizes. So anyway, his narration is just too cheesy for me. Talking while he's taking out the dopey guards. The old trope of you look like hell even though the person looks good. Dr. whatever her name is. What was her name again?
Helen Dolan, something like that. Ellen Dolan.
Ellen, yeah. Her dad's just like, you look like hell and you look like something the cat dragged in. Like,
And there she is
thanks,
looking
Dad.
just
And she
beautiful,
just looks great.
like ridiculous. Everyone.
Yeah.
I can't say it enough.
Classic villain, like fucking PowerPoint presentation. Why tell the hero anything? Just kill him immediately. Don't say anything. Now he knows on the off chance he gets out. Oh, look, he got out. The whole dead thing went on a little too long for me. Sand is a little underdressed for the weather on the final standoff here. Final showdown, whatever. They missed out on a line there for sure. The Chief's like, what is it with... Or no. fucking the octopus said, "What is it with you and women?" And then they show the cat up there, and I feel like why wouldn't they put in there him just going, "I guess I'm just a pussy magnet." Like, how do you not do that?
Because he's
It's
not Sean. He's not Sean.
It's a goofy enough movie that, like, I think you got to put that in there. I don't know.
It's too much.
It's not too much. This movie. Anyway, perhaps he could have drank. Perhaps the octopus could have got that blood drank if he didn't give first a triumphant scream, letting everyone know now is the time to stop me.
So let's talk about that for just a sec. So if you watch that scene, if you listen, you hear like 3 gulps. That man drank the blood. I don't care what nobody says.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
you're right.
that man drank some of the blood. And as far as what Silken Floss was saying, just a drop of it would have done something for him. So that's probably why we get the
finger.
Yeah.
I have some on that in a minute, but it said sponsored by Converse. Both explosions have a smoke. The smoke has like 8 trails.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice touch.
Again, we're cheesy. She is sticking on the "doesn't mean I'm your girl" just because I wear this thing again. Somebody's jealous. Left it open for a sequel. Don't think anyone wants that. Scandalous finger. She picked it up and she's puts it in her bra
and
like,
moves on.
it's a little okay.
Yeah.
The city narration thing again, very cheesy. Not for me.
Yeah.
So that's my notes.
Nope, all good. So, so kind of running through this, I kind of really like the intro scenes. Everything I love about this is things you hate, but just kind of the aesthetic that we set up. We get a lot of these like super high contrast scenes and everything just looks so hard and cool.
Visually, it's good. I don't think it fits this plot. That's all.
Yeah. But yeah, we get first Sans Serif kind of peeking out of the water, looking hot. We get her trying to run away. The octopus unloading like probably roughly 120 shots into the water as she's trying to escape with the chest.
Because
she loses
ammunition is free.
Well, he's got 8 of everything, so I guess he's got 8 guns, all with infinite ammo, except when it's convenient to put some down and
Except for plot.
That's right. That is the rule.
Plot. Yeah, that's one of the rules. Go back and watch our movie rules. One, ammunition is relative to plot.
But so this was the first one, and there's a handful of these one-liners that I just love in this movie. So like after Sans Serif comes up, they only have the one chest, and she's with her at that time husband. He's moping about like the octopus or whatever, and how they shouldn't deal with him, and she's just like, "Shut up and bleed."
Yeah.
It's just like,
what a loving relationship.
As with the other like 9 husbands that she's gone through, apparently they all just kind of die off and get abandoned. So
yeah,
not sure I feel about that. But Silken Floss is the most beautiful woman ever. 100%. That's
look,
something
ScarJo's a great looking lady.
She is a dime piece. Everything about it, like those like weird long eyelash extensions, like poking out of the side of her glasses, all of it.
Look,
it's ridiculous.
all the ladies in this movie looking good.
Oh yeah,
I mean, no question.
Dime
Eva
pieces
Mendes
all
is a
around.
Fox.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I love the fight between the octopus and the spirit just because it is like so comical with like how heavy toned they were trying to be. They're just kind of poorly beating the shit out of each other. And it's really just like we're, exhausting each other just so we can be like, all right, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
It seems like this is just a thing that they do every now and then. And Silken Floss even kind of alludes to that. Be like, if that's the spirit out there, they're going to be at it for a while. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like this is just a regular night for them. So when the spirit knocks down the octopus, though, and is like punching him repeatedly, 28 times.
Yeah.
He punches him in a row like that. And
oh, you counted that?
I counted that. I was like, you know what? That's ridiculous because he's just hammering away, and at some point it's hilarious, and then he stops. The octopus starts moving again, and he just starts hammering away. Oh, it's so good. And then so throwing the kitchen sink at him, I thought that was just the funniest shit ever. One of the clones shoots the spirit. He kind of just takes it like a champ. He's talking to the octopus. He's like, "I'm gonna kill you all kinds of dead."
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, such a great one-liner there, Spirit. We see some more of Lorelai. Ellen shows up at the hospital and tries to get a little horny again. The octopus knows something. How do you know? Because he told me he knows something. I love it. It's
Yeah.
so good. 10 out of 10 dialogue. So yeah, the spirit picks up Lockett, kind of abandoned ship after getting trooped out by Dolan. We get kind of like the backstory stuff from Chief, where it's like, that cliff I was talking about, there's a bottom, don't jump, because the spirit's getting a little too obsessed.
Yeah.
Octopus is obsessed with not having egg on his face. Spirit reminisces about Sans Serif and their stupid past. It's the only time we really get like this warm color palette really throughout most of the movies is these flashbacks, and then towards the end of the movie, which I thought was kind of a nice touch. Is that things are better somewhere else, just not here kind of thing.
Right.
In the flashback, one of the comics that Danny is reading, though, is from EC Comics, which was, I think, right before like DC Comics ended up absorbing a couple companies and stuff there. But
Nice.
it's kind of a nice touch,
Yeah.
old stuff there. Yeah. So now he gets hyper fixated on finding Sans Serif instead of finding the octopus because he thinks finding Sans Serif will lead him to the octopus. In the octopus lair, we're in some samurai garb, discovers that the golden fleece is what he has, not the blood of Heracles, which I also thought was supposed to be Hercules, but
Yeah.
maybe that's just translation.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
I could watch Silk and Floss eat an apple, I think, for an hour, probably two. Just something about it. Sans Serif is blackmailing people just to kind of, I guess, get a message across to the octopus to meet at some point. So she blackmails the collector because he sold her out for the golden fleece. Spins the gun around to suggest that it's more worth it to kill himself than to kind of move on with his life. We get Morgenstern, who is just a fun little cute rookie thing that I loved everything about her. How'd you feel about Morgenstern?
As I said, all the women were foxes in this movie.
They were foxes. Just her whole personality of just like the most go-getter. Everything was like a little march.
Yes.
It was very cute. Also sponsored by Nokia when she showed the video. It was
Yes.
a Nokia phone.
Nokia and Converse sponsored this movie.
Yeah.
For sure.
So once they all come up to the room with the collector dude's head blown off, there's the silhouette of like the back of his head blown out, and then kind of where the empty space is where like Dolan and all of them are standing at, and I thought that was a really cool shot. The spirit immediately identifies Sans Serif's seemingly like 15-year-older ass.
Yeah.
Somehow, I'm not sure why he would be able to pick that up, but
And he's looking at it and he's like,
yeah. Octopus and Silk and Floss are back in the lab looking hot again. There's the clone with the head on the foot, which is just the dumbest thing ever, and I too was fixated on that too much. But I like kind of where this was at, where it's like Silk and Floss is really focused on the business stuff, and then the octopus is really just focused on like bullshit, really.
just like Dr. Evil.
That's
And
kind of what I was
number
thinking.
two.
I was like, it's kind of is that just a common thing? We're like, I'm way more invested in the business side of this.
Yeah.
You're way more invested in the mayhem part of it. But yeah, I thought that was cool. But he's going on his speech. He's like, if I want something, I'll just take it. That's what gods do. So many good one-liners out of this. We discovered the spirit, or that octopus is the one who kind of put the shit in him, and the spirit in himself to make him die hard. Spirit pursues Sand, walks in on her in a towel. Fantastic. She drops the towel. We get to see her pretty much naked and looking hot for a couple moments, which was
Yeah, I mean, blurred out, but, it's okay.
a nice silhouette,
silhouette.
of a woman. Roughly
A good little butt cheek view for a second there.
good little butt cheek view. We'll take it.
Yeah.
They have their weird altercation where, she is slowly discovering that it's Danny and that she pushes him out a window. I was like, if you just found out this guy you were kind of in love with back in the day is alive, then you're like, I'm going to push you out a window. It's like, he's dead. You're dead. You're dead. It's like, well, now he is.
Well, yeah,
you
now.
fucking idiot.
God. Fucking broads, am I right?
Yeah, and then the extremely unnecessary of like him being hanging up there, taking the belt off, his pants falling down, and kind of embarrassing himself. People downstairs are like telling him to jump and like kill himself. I was like, this is so odd. Like, why do we have this weird toner shift? Yeah, Spirit kind of goes in pursuit. He ends up finding Silk and Floss in like the underground. She kisses him and drugs him because the Spirit's a fucking idiot. He just does this all the time.
He's he's a simp for the hottest girl, the closest to him.
I mean, sure, we've all been there, but it's just, it gets old a little bit there.
Yeah.
So that's all fine and dandy. So yeah, she gets him to kind of like pass out. They drag him in. We get a Plastor, I think, was the girl with the swords.
Yeah. Sure. Maybe.
Yeah.
Probably not. I don't know.
Yeah. But, anyway, so they go through that. Octopus ends up in, like, his Nazi garb and stuff, and it's a little odd. I don't understand what that sequence is for whatsoever. The aesthetic, I guess, is there, and it's kind of cool, but it doesn't mean anything to me. Octopus gets a phone call to meet with Sand. Spirit urges Octopus to get on with it. Octopus gets on with it. Everything is dead as Star Trek. And then I think the next line Silken Floss has is Klingon. Haha, Star Trek. Big brown eggs piss the octopus off. We go into the backstory about how Danny got buried, wakes in the coffin. How do you get out of a coffin? I just can't.
You
I
watched
figured it
Kill
out.
Bill. I mean,
I
come on.
guess, but like, come on. We get the cool line that I always remember from the trailer, and it's not delivered as well in the movie. But it's the "I still move, I still breathe. It's impossible, but I'm still alive." And, like, for some reason in the trailer, it's, like, framed and paused in such a way that it sounds so dramatic. But then in this delivery, it's like,
you get a soundtrack over it,
You can
next
make
thing
anything
it
sound cool.
sounds epic.
And so let me stop right there.
Put a
Because
soundtrack over this.
yeah.
You can make anything sound epic if you put the right soundtrack into it.
I am in so much financial debt right now.
As we all are.
As we all are.
But if you put your head down, you keep pushing and you believe,
And you find some hot girls.
you too can be out of financial ruin.
For more tips, email us at contentcrisis. Oh, shoot. So that's all fine and dandy. Octopus reveals that once we have the vase, drink the blood, we'll be immortal. He's talking about Heracles. He's like, we found his ass. Well, his blood. He left a little bit of blood lying around. Like, just the delivery on that was so funny. It's like, do you have a vial of blood that you just have, like, spare? No, you don't have spare blood hanging around? I got to talk to Lindsay about that. We need some spare blood. The cat that we dissolved is all the reason Spirit needs to actually kill the octopus and get some shit done for some reason. I thought it was...
He's a cat guy.
I guess he's a cat guy. I don't
He's
know why the eyes got left behind, though. Like, if we
a
dissolve... Pussy
magnet.
magnet. I don't know why we got all of the... Why the eyes got left behind, though. If we were able to dissolve bones and everything. But the two eyes just sitting in the bowl looking up was a little unsettling there.
Yeah.
So yeah, they go through all of this escapades. French girl ends up freeing them. They get out, run away. She ends up stabbing him anyways. Lorelai calls again. She's really pissed that he doesn't answer. We fall into the water. We kind of give up. Then we decide, nah. Lorelai's still pissed. Spirit flatlines for a bit anyways after he gets out, which makes me not really understanding how his regeneration works in any kind of way. Yeah. Ellen fixes him up as is usual. Someone find me a tie, and it sure as hell better be red.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Silken Floss and Sand show up looking immaculate and then talking about how they look immaculate. Love it. I think all interactions should be done by hot girls showing up, looking hot, doing things. If we can
We
just
show up, we look great doing it, and we leave.
Yeah, literally how I would love to handle every transaction in my life. If it could just be with that same level of showmanship and looking good. Morgenstern's got the biggest, baddest looking bazooka thing that I'd ever seen in my life. Girl talk goes on. Silken Floss is told to leave the octopus. She's like, I'm using him, kind of. So that's not explained in any kind of way. We see the golden fleece. Shit glows. Everything goes down. The octopus emerges. Spirit approaches. Silken Floss runs away. The scene overall is kind of cool. We get like this dramatic silhouette of the Spirit like walking up with like we have like kind of the really dark rundown city background, a little bit of red flourish, just the silhouette of him walking up as the octopus is unloading into him is so lit. We get the one-liner, I'm the octopus, I've got 8 of everything. Fantastic. Even though like we knew this by now, but this is really late in the game to be bringing it up of why that's your gimmick.
We have like Bondisms. We have, but and here we have A pussyism.
Octopusums.
A pussism?
I don't know.
Octism. An orgasm.
Does he also have 8 of those? Because that'd be a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the smoke trails were.
Oh, I see. That is rough. So for some reason, police force, they wait for the spirit to be shot to shit and killed pretty much before sending everybody in with all the helicopters and everything. So never really understood that. Somehow throughout 40 police dudes and a couple helicopters with Gatling guns and shit, we don't shoot the jar of the sexy blood that we need.
Nope.
So that defies all logic. Morgenstern blows off the octopus's arm as he's trying to do shit. Dolan shows up, shoots 6 shots, not 8, into the octopus's head, which I felt like was just a waste. Like, I guess it's kind of a cool thing on his head, but it's like, the octopus ate of everything. Like, wouldn't that have been...
Right.
Like, why this? Out of everything else, why is this what we're not getting in on? Sand shoots the case. Spirit shoves a grenade inside of the octopus, which was kind of lit. I got hype in that moment there.
Literally.
Yeah, it was exactly lit because of explosions. For some reason, Sand decides that she wants to save the spirit with the golden fleece, so octopus gets blown up to shit. We finally get some warmth of the world. Those colors kind of returning. Sure. Sand happily takes back her locket, but makes sure that it means that
I'm not your girl.
I'm not your girl. It's cool and all. They part ways. Dolan's pissed that they let her go, but then he kind of just gives up because whatever, the octopus is dead. Not that, millions and millions of damage have been done and that half of it is her fault, but whatever. We decide that's good enough. Silken Floss recovers the octopus's fingers. I don't want to know what she's going to do with it later. We get the kind of closing city monologue, get some natural looking colors kind of actually returning rather than like the heavy comic book aesthetic.
Yeah.
And then we get the flourish of "She is my city, and I am her spirit." Closing scenes.
Yeah.
It's obnoxious, but I still like it. Again, I there's something about the quirkiness and oddities to it. I like the dialogue. I like that it's kind of cheesy and cringy, but it feels like I'm reading like a 1950s like first edition comic book.
Yeah.
It's where we get like a rush plot line, a rush storyline. We're kind of establishing characters. Trying to get some personality in there. It really does it for me. It really does.
That's good. So, on the Rotten Tomatoes website...
Oh, man, I don't even want to know.
We have a 14% on the tomato meter out of 115 reviews. And the audience score with 100,000 plus ratings is 25%. I've said it once and I'll say it again. I think movie rating typically is pretentious. I think you either go, this is a bad movie, this is a good movie. The whole 4-star, 5-star, I don't know. It gets pretentious to me. It feels pretentious. And that's why we stopped rating things on here. Charles and Dakota were very about it. I don't like it. I don't like rating.
I don't care too much.
I think you look at it and you take away what you want to take away. If you like, and we all like bad movies sometimes,
Sure.
But
I apparently like a lot of them.
No. Some of the funny reviews, though. An unmitigated disaster. A truly horrible film. The spirit is the very definition of style over substance. If Will Eisner's comic and legacy was a flag, Miller would be that person stomping it into the ground and lighting it on fire.
No! That's so much.
Will Eisner's seminal comic strip deserved far better than this wretched camp outing, a film in which every jokey, self-aware remark lands with the force of an atomic bomb laying waste to a sandcastle.
Oh, gosh.
Somebody else just left their review blank, which I think is just even funnier. Just a blank square. Where
Just
the review
audible
should be.
sigh, just
Yeah.
out of 10.
So, yeah. Out of 10, yeah, okay. So, yeah. But no, look. Again, I think visually it's very good looking. I don't think it fits this specific plot. And I don't wish to watch it again. So.
Would not watch again out of 10. That's
Yeah.
your ranking.
So this is for you. Yeah, put that in your bra, yeah. And, yeah. You got any closing closing comments here?
Kind of just a final flourish here. I read through one of the issues of the comic book I could find online, and it's like I found nothing that was really relatable to this movie in any kind of way, shape, or form. The clones are a thing.
Okay.
They're much more like craggly and like rocky looking. You know, they look a lot more like failed experiments. They're still kind of like these big, yeah, kind of like the Thing. So they had, I guess, the same shape, but they just looked like they had like crap all over them. They looked crusty.
Yeah.
And that was kind of weird, but they also seemed not maybe quite as dumb. But like the color palette, like it's 50s, 60s comic. Everything's like bright and blues and, high contrast kind of stuff. So I didn't really pick up on quite the, I guess, like visual art style influence from the comic book in any way. So I that was a little disappointing to me. I was expecting, maybe this was just like a, kind of a darker, awkward tone in the comic books themselves, but it seemed like it was just regular, like 50s, 60s, comic shit.
Huh.
So little letdown there.
I need you to visually circle the hanging DVD case in your shirt when you edit this. All right, cool. All right, well, watch the Spirit, don't watch it, whatever. Maybe you'll like it. Cons and Crisis Hotline, yahoo.com. Comments, questions, complaints, whatever. Suggestions, all that. Twitter, Instagram, Cons and Crisis, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts, we're there. Thanks. Goodbye.